When it comes to school exam results, Britain is nowhere near the top of the international league table. In fact, it's Asian countries that consistently take the top spots. The UK lags behind these masters of education, and my home nation, Wales, is the worst performing country compared to England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. I'm Sian Griffiths, Education Editor at the Sunday Times. I want to know, what would it take for Welsh schools to compete and be at the top of those rankings? And to do that, I need some help. I'm inviting 3 pupils from my old school in Wales to swap their classrooms, teachers, and even their parents to experience school life on the opposite side of the globe, in Gangnam, in South Korea. Here, pupils work long hours. Teachers can become millionaires. And parents plough a small fortune into private tuition for their kids. This is extreme education. So for 3 days, 3 Welsh teenagers will live and breathe Korean education to find out the secret to their success.
I honestly couldn't keep my eyes open.
This is School Swap Korean style. St David's in Pembrokeshire is the smallest city in Britain. This is where I grew up and went to school. Here I got the grades to go to Oxford to study English. And back then the quality of Wales's education system was renowned. But something has changed. So I want 3 students from my old school to help me find out what. I'm sending them to one of the best and toughest education systems in the world today, South Korea.
I'm looking forward to experiencing it, but I honestly don't know how they cope. Some days I'll only have 2 lessons in the morning, or sometimes I have triple lessons at the end of the day so I can have a lie-in in the morning.
I do like the social part of school, but I don't really enjoy the educational side of it. Some might say that I like my PlayStation a bit more or playing sports with my friends a bit more than studying.
School for me is about, yeah, sure, you come along and you see your friends every day, but it's also about knuckling down and actually getting some work done. I want to get the best, I want to be the best, and I think that all starts with education. I want to go to Korea because I want to know why they're doing so much better in education than we are and what they have that we don't.
3 very different kids, but how will they take to the super tough system of South Korea? Our 3 Welsh teenagers are travelling 6,000 miles from Pembrokeshire to the capital of South Korea, Seoul. For 3 days, I've arranged for them to be totally immersed in Korean school and teenage life. And they need to look the part too.
Looks like you're going to play cricket.
So first stop is the local school uniform shop.
I feel like an air hostess.
You look like one.
Oh my goodness.
Most schools in this area are single-sex schools, so the 3 will have to split up. Tommy and Ewan will attend Dankuk, an all-boys high school in the most affluent neighbourhood in Gangnam. The school is surrounded by expensive high-rise flats, with Korean parents spending a fortune to move into the school's catchment.
Mine's a very posh school, and I have a feeling they're going to be really strict.
Sarah will attend the nearby all-girls school, Sumun. Over 1,500 girls attend this high school, and it's one of the best in Gangnam, with strict rules on uniform and appearance. Our 3 Welsh students will also be staying with a Korean family. But before they head off, I want to know if they're ready for the challenge. Do you already know any Korean? Have you learnt any in the few hours you've been here?
Well, picked up a little bit. I mean, like, 감사합니다 is like thank you. And Tommy knows the way to like introduce yourself.
Yeah, when you greet someone, you say 만누서 반갑습니다.
Sarah?
I'm useless. I've been relying on these 2.
OK, well, good luck, all 3 of you. Off you
Can't
go.
wait.
Yeah,
Right.
cheers.
Sarah, Tommy and Ewan now split up and head off to meet their Korean classmates for the first time. They know nothing about their host families, and the nerves are definitely starting to show.
Yeah, a bit nervous, but should be good to meet them.
I think nervous doesn't quite cut it.
Do I press here? What do I do? This one?
Here we go. Okay.
Sarah will be staying with 16-year-old Sion. When she was young, Sion went to a school for gifted children, and her favourite subject is maths.
That's the living room.
Okay.
And the dining table.
Yeah.
And that's the kitchen.
Oh my gosh, actually here.
Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Tommy is going up in the world.
Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Tommy's Korean classmate is Min Young. He has a bird's eye view of Seoul from his 36th floor apartment, and there's an 86-inch television to amuse him.
Ooh, got a home soon now. That's really cool. That's a lovely view as well.
Yuan is the last to meet his Korean counterpart, Young Chan.
Hello. 만나서 반갑습니다.
There's no television here. Young Chan's parents believe it's a barrier to good education.
This is a really nice house. You make the most of the space as well, it's really good.
Both are top students in their class, and it's not long before they check out each other's maths homework and musical skills.
First impressions, I don't stand a chance. He's amazing. He can play the piano backwards, for Christ's sake. I don't stand a chance. I'm finally here, and it's crazy. It's really good. I look like an idiot now.
You just tap your card and then tap it.
Tomorrow, our 3 Welsh students are going to discover why Korean education is the toughest in the world.
What time does school start tomorrow?
We need to be there by 8.
8. All right. Okay. Yeah. 8 o'clock. So quite an early start. But it's all right.
I think it's math, English, and history.
Okay.
And then we're gonna have dinner at school. And then we're gonna have like the extracurricular stuff. We stay there until like 10.
10 o'clock at night.
10, yes.
Okay. I'm normally fast asleep at 10 o'clock, but I think I can change for a couple of days. I don't think I'm prepared for this.
6:45 in the morning, and in Young Chan's house, there's no sign of Yuan.
Hello, Yuan. It's already like a quarter before 7.
Sorry. I fell back to sleep.
That's normal.
Over at Sion's house, it's a different type of wake-up call for Sarah over breakfast.
So like we have this bag in each class for us to put our phones in.
But we have to keep our phones in.
Yes.
You're not even just like allowed to turn them off and put them in.
I guess you can, but if a teacher finds out, they'll take it for like a week and a half to a month. I guess it depends on the teacher.
They can take your phone off you for that long.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I did wake up and I just fell back asleep because I'm ready for school now. Apparently I might be out until 11:30 at night, so it could be quite interesting.
While Sarah and Yuan make their way to their respective schools, over at Min Young's house, Tommy's only just getting up.
I don't usually function at this time.
Guys, you get better weather out here than we do. Really? Much better. This is like actually quite a nice day.
It gets a bit tiring after lunch.
I think I'll be tired before lunch.
Because Tommy got up so late, his Korean classmate is worried.
I'm gonna be there on time, I think.
He's never been late to school before.
I'll catch up, don't worry.
In Dankook High School, punishment for missing the bell is coming in even earlier to clean the corridors and classrooms. With seconds to spare, both have avoided mopping up duties, for today at least. Sarah is creating a bit of a stir over at Sumarin Girls' School. Being the only blonde in school can make you quite a celebrity.
I'm not normally awake until about 7:45. It's too strange, too early.
It's 10 to 8. And first up, it's English. And a gentle easing in for Tommy, Ewan and Sarah.
Well, I'm not very familiar with that genre of music.
I cut myself when I shaved this morning. Maybe you can shave in the shower. Sounds like a good idea.
More than 99% of Korean students choose to stay in school after they turn 16, compared to only 50% back home in Wales. For the next 3 years, they prepare for a make-or-break exam to get into a good university. While I wait to see if the kids survive their first day, I've been looking around the local area and come across this Buddhist temple. This sign is pretty interesting. It's inviting people to come and do 3,000 vows or prayers overnight this Saturday for, guess what, good exam results. These mothers are praying for good results in the end-of-term exams. Each prayer book has a picture of their child. And on the roof of the temple, the light stays on in the family's lantern until the child reaches university. In the temple courtyard, the mothers burn old textbooks to destroy any possible bad luck in the looming exams. It is this religious devotion to education that has helped transform South Korea's fortunes. 60 years ago, nearly 80% of the population here was illiterate. Today, South Korea is an economic giant. They did all that through education. So how good are they? I've arranged a test for the boys in Dankook School. Good morning.
Good morning.
Today you're going to be sitting a Welsh GCSE maths exam. You have 60 minutes and your time starts now. It's usually a 2-hour-long paper, but we've randomly selected half the questions to fit this exam into 60 minutes.
In my maths exam, I got an A star. A star, yeah. I was told to aim for full marks. So.
After only 15 minutes, some of the Korean students have already finished the paper. But even on his second attempt, GCSE maths is still a headache for Tommy.
For my GCSEs, I got 2 A stars, 4 A's, 4 B's, and a C. I thought I did quite well, considering the amount of work I did. The only grade that I would have liked to get higher was a C in maths. I would have liked to get that up to a B, but you know, it is what it is.
OK, so can I just ask you all, can you put your hands up if you found that paper difficult? Oh. OK, so can I ask you now, can you put your hands up if you found the paper really easy? OK. Everybody found it really easy. Well, that was really interesting. None of those South Korean teenagers found that paper difficult. Most of them finished it in about 15 minutes. It was supposed to take an hour. I'm not really surprised because the teacher said that paper was primary school level maths for those children. It just shows how far we've got to go to catch up in Wales. Thousands of children in Wales, not just in Wales, across the UK, would have failed that paper this summer. That says a lot about where we are and how much we've got to do.
I asked them and they thought the exam was very easy. And I said, well, some people in our class have failed that. And they said, well, that's astounding. So I just think they just work harder, they go over it. And then an exam they've never studied for before, they just did it straight through. So, yeah, amazing.
Korean teenagers are exam-busting machines and are among the top-performing students in the world. We know this because of the PISA tests. Every 3 years, 15-year-olds in 68 different countries sit the same exams in maths, science and reading. In the latest PISA maths test, Asian countries like South Korea once again come out on top. England and Northern Ireland are down with Scotland at 29th, and my home nation, Wales, right down at 36th. One obvious difference here is the long hours they put in. Sarah is struggling to stay awake. Others have just given up, but still, the teacher carries on.
I feel really bad because I'm really sleepy now, and that lesson I was just like...
At least there's one similarity between Wales and South Korea. They do have school dinners. In Seoul, all kids up to 16 years old have free school meals. But you won't find any chips being dished out here. Korean school dinners are hailed as some of the healthiest in the world. Plenty of rice, soup, and gut-friendly fermented cabbage called kimchi.
Oh yeah, nice. It's really nice. It's sort of like a stew sort of thing, but there's less stew to it and more meat and veg and stuff. It's really tasty, really tasty.
With their bellies full, it's back to the classroom. And our Welsh students are actually getting a taste for Korean-style lessons.
The method of teaching out here is they just give it to you in black and white and you memorise it and you learn it, but that does not necessarily mean that you understand it.
What stuck out to me a lot is in class they don't even talk to each other. It's just bizarre.
The school here is better in terms of the results, but are they really living a life that a young person should be? I'm not so sure.
In response to such criticisms, the principal at the boys' school has introduced a school sports day to tackle the problems of stressed out and tired students. This is one of the best schools in Seoul, and South Korea is at the top of the international rankings for education. But do you feel that this kind of sports day is necessary to give them some kind of release from that pressure?
Yep, that's a part of the reason I do this with these kids, because, you know, like, this time never comes back. You know, like, there's a beautiful time of our life, but, you know, they're kind of like squeezed under like a big load of pressure. Their day is probably like 6 to 12 or something.
6 a.m. in the morning to
Sure,
midnight.
yeah.
To midnight. Whoa, so they're getting about 6 hours sleep.
6 hours sleep, that's a very like insufficient.
So we've been seeing some children sleep actually nodding off in lessons. What do you do when you see children doing that?
It's actually, I tap the window of the classroom, and I try to wake them up by like sending my finger signal to them.
Does it work?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Eventually, probably that's going to damage their like efficiency of the studies.
Right.
Because they need a sleep, they kind of lack of sleep. So that's the part of the reason we're doing this. It's kind of like some activities to releasing their stress.
The final event of the day is rope skipping, and Tommy's been given the responsibility for swinging the rope for his team.
Well, they're quite nervous. I don't want to get it wrong. Look how many people are watching. Oh, yeah. I'm petrified. Look how wrong it can go.
Next up, it's Tommy's team. Most of the Korean students don't know anything about Wales. That's until they see the flag. There's one famous Welsh footballer and everyone knows his name. "4:20 and the bell rings for the boys. Over at the girls' school, the lessons may have ended, but now it's time for after-school study. 10 hours in and Sarah's sitting in the same classroom, in the same chair.
I feel really bad, but I honestly couldn't keep my eyes open during that lesson.
It's all getting too much for Sarah, so her Korean classmate Sion comes to the rescue.
We're gonna get you to go to the nurse's office. There are a lot of beds there, so you can take a rest.
I feel so bad.
And after that, we can go to my extracurricular class, and then we go home a bit early.
Oh, I feel bad going into the nurse's room. I should be awake, but I'm just so genuinely tired.
As night falls on Seoul, Yuan and Youngchan make their way to a 5-hour self-studying session in the local public library.
At the moment, we're waiting to get into the library. I was amazed that there could be so many people all in there at once, and the fact that they're all exquisitely silent. There was even a kid in there studying, about 10 years old, so it's surprising, but shows the work ethic that Korean people have, and it's just impressive, it's amazing.
Studying for 14 to 16 hours a day is normal for Youngchan. This is his way of staying at the very top of the class.
I found that if you review your schoolwork, what you've learned on that day, then it really helps you a lot. So the library where I study near my house, it only opens until 10. So if I want to study more and finish up my work, then I just come back to school and stay here until 12. My parents' influence is the biggest part because my dad grew up in the countryside. He had a really poor background and he studied really hard and he made it into Seoul. If he can do that, maybe I can study more. But the second purpose is that it's really kind of happy when you get good results from studying. It's really not comparable with any other achievements. Yeah, that's what drives me to study.
When they're not self-studying in libraries, most Korean students go to private night schools called hagwons. This area of Gangnam has over 1,000 of these hagwons. Min Young is taking Tommy to his English hagwon, a 2-hour top-up lesson in English grammar. I've arranged to meet Tommy at his hagwon, and on my way over in the taxi, the driver has plenty to say about the role hagwons play in society here.
This is mathematics hagwon, and this is English hagwon, and this is mathematics hagwon.
This is a street of hagwons, really. Yes, this is Hagwon Street.
Yes, that's right.
And the children come here what time after school? 5 o'clock?
About 5 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
So at midnight, this street will be full of children?
Yes.
It's crazy.
Byung-hun has sent all of his 3 children to hagwons.
But when you have 3 children in the hagwons, how much is that costing you?
Almost 2,000 per month.
$2,000
per month for the only mathematics.
How many hours do you have to work to pay for the hagwon?
About 14 hours.
14 hours a day?
15 hours in a day.
How many days a week?
6 days in a week.
6 days a week. You're working 14 hours a day.
Yes.
So you never see your children. When do you see your children?
Very hard to see each other.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, it's a high price to pay for hagwons.
Yes. Yes, that's right. That's true.
Korean parents spend more on private education for their kids than any other country in the world. It's almost an addiction here. The government has even placed a 10 o'clock curfew on the Hagwons to try and control their influence. To keep the kids out of private education, the girls' school offers its own version of a Hagwon. But it's all too much for Sarah.
We were supposed to stay until 10, but I've actually been really tired. So luckily we've been let out a bit earlier. But yeah, it's been a really intense day and definitely not used to staying in school this late.
At his private Hagwon, Tommy and his Korean classmate Min Young now face another test.
And Tommy, what is the difference between present perfect and past?
Present perfect.
Yeah. I have lived in Wales for 20 years.
That's present past.
Present perfect.
Present
like
perfect,
have,
sorry.
yeah, have lived.
Yeah.
What's the difference between have lived and lived?
I lived. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Can I ask you, because you've been teaching tonight a grammar lesson to one of our students from Wales, Tommy, but in the English grammar test, Mignon did better than Tommy.
Oh, sure. Minyoung is excellent. He's a good student and also he's diligent. I noticed that Tommy was writing down everything and he wanted to memorize it. So Tommy is really diligent and he has passion. So if there's a system that helps Tommy, then Tommy can, get a better score.
So Hagwon seem to be doing a good job from your point of view, but a lot of people criticise them and they say that children are here too late and they get very tired. What would you say to that?
Personally, I just run this Hagwon to help students. Everyone wants to go to SNU, Seoul National University, and I help students to go to those schools. So in a family, if someone goes to SNU, Seoul National University, it's kind of really big pride in that family. So I think it's a kind of culture.
It's 10 o'clock at night. The Hagwons are closing because of the government curfew. But many students, like Young Chan, are carrying on.
So where are we going now?
So we're actually heading back to school.
Back to school?
Yeah, so the self-study room is open until 11:30.
11:30.
And then luckily we have our bikes there, so we'll take them back home.
Yeah,
and
that makes things easier. God, and then a long day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then one after that.
Dan Cook Boys' School is open until 11:30 at night, so they're carrying on with their studying there. This is a relentless education system.
It's 10 o'clock at night and the street's just full of children, a lot of them still in their school uniforms. And I've been speaking to a few groups of children. Some of them are tired, some of them are hungry. One said he would love to be playing basketball. And one girl I spoke to, she was 14, she said, I just want to sleep. I'm so tired, I just want to go to sleep.
Like other countries around the world, the Welsh government has sent civil servants out to South Korea to see if changes need to be made to our education system back home.
But is this what it takes to get to the top of the international rankings? And if it is it actually worth it?
Schools open early in Korea. After the pupils have finished cleaning their classrooms and the corridors, it's the start of lessons. For Ewan and Tommy, this is a far cry from their school back in Pembrokeshire.
It's 8:30 in the morning. Quite a few people have a nap. I think I'll join them in a minute. I'm feeling a bit tired. It's taking a toll on me.
I mean, I prefer our type of school. They really don't have to come until 9. They don't have to work so much in the morning.
Across the city, in the all-girls school, Sarah has more energy than she had on day one.
Yeah, definitely. I'm much more alert today, 100%. But then again, we have got history and Korean next, so I don't know how that's going to go for me. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll stay awake.
This all-girls high school is one of the best in Seoul. These girls are passionate about their education. They work long hours, anything from 8 in the morning to 11 at night to pass their exams. And what's striking is the respect the teachers have here. An old Asian proverb says that the king and the teacher are both equal in status. No wonder then that some teachers have made a fortune off the back of that belief.
I'm on my way to meet the most famous teacher in South Korea. And we've arranged to meet in a hair salon.
Cha Gil-young, or Mr. Cha to his hordes of adoring fans, is preparing for his next lesson.
Your hairstyle today, it's your normal style, or there's a good reason for your hairstyle today?
네. 이름이 이제 불꽃머리라는 건데요. 이제 좀 이렇게 열정 있게 학생들 공부하라는 뜻에서 머리를 이렇게 하늘로 세운 그런 스타일입니다.
In education-obsessed South Korea, Cha is a top-ranked maths teacher, and here it makes him a celebrity.
비가 널 젖게 만들면 해가 되어 널 감쌀게.
He looks every bit the pop star and shares the limelight with some of Korea's biggest idols.
세상이 뜻대로 잘 되지 않아서.
This is Mr. Cha's latest single, an appeal for students to smile as they study for their big college entrance exams.
You are very rich from this, yeah? You are a millionaire?
수입을 많이 벌기는 했지만 저는 100원을 벌면 100원을 투자하는 스타일이어서 실은 굉장히 전적으로 많이 번 돈을 투자하고 있습니다.
He doesn't actually teach in a bricks-and-mortar school. He's made his fortune by running an online cram school, or hagwon, part of the country's huge private education business. And he has a variety of props, masks, costumes and wigs, which he wears according to his mood. Entertainment is a fundamental part of the learning process. But this is a very serious business. He has 3 million registrations on his website, and at any one time, 300,000 students are logged on, each paying £22 per month to watch his maths lessons.
He is a celebrity superstar. He has built up an empire here in just 6 years.
얘는 한의 개수야. 잘 들어야 돼. 그리고 얘가 N이면 반드시 얘는 N에서 1을 뺀 거야.
You think it's stupid, but then you realise that actually even 17-year-olds are captivated by him. He has a massive following, and it just goes to show how big maths is in South Korea.
알았냐고? 진짜. 정말.
Over in the girls' school, Sarah is about to have a taste of mathematics Korean style. Teenagers here are notoriously good at maths and consistently top the international rankings. But Sarah seems to be holding her own.
I know that one. You have to add, for the first number, you minus the two together. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So that's where the 2 comes from, and then 5 plus 3 is 8.
Unfortunately for Sarah, it's first come, first solve in this school.
What just happened?
But one of the answers has been left unfinished.
Girls know how to do it, but they just thought they'd let me do it. I kind of felt like they were doing it out of a sympathy vote because that was the easiest one on the board and I couldn't do any of the other ones. But at the end of the day, I got some food out of it, so it's fine.
In between lessons at Dankook Boys' School, Tommy and Ewan get a chance to visit the school farm.
This is random. A while ago, they built this biological studies centre or whatever to help with biology and stuff, and they've just got animals on the school grounds. And we've come down here, and there's just cats and rabbits and chickens. It's just bizarre.
Before this was, in much bigger scale. Like there were peacocks and iguanas and like exotic animals.
I'm allergic, so I don't really want to get too close.
Can't open this,
Halfway through their 3 days in a Korean school, and the long hours are taking their toll on Ewan and Tommy, as well as a few others.
These hours are bad. I'm usually like this tired every day, 'cause if you keep doing it, you sort of get tired.
You get used to it as well, probably.
Yeah. When do you go to school, like when school starts?
9 o'clock, and then we finish at
And we finish at 3:30.
By spending so much time with Tommy, Min Young has a growing curiosity about Welsh education.
I don't think you can say, which is better. People in Wales, they get more active and they get more like social ties, I guess, and we study more. So if we find like a middle ground where we can study and engage in like those kind of fun activities, then I think that would be like the best.
In 3 years' time, Min, like all other Korean high school students, will have to sit a university entrance exam called the KSAT. The test, offered only once a year, is seen as the make or break exam, not only when it comes to college admissions, but for a teenager's entire future.
It's like a defining moment in your whole education, I guess. Everyone wants to go to Seoul National University, which is like the top, like at the top. And yeah, I'm aiming for it. Everyone's aiming for it, I think.
Seoul National University is just like Oxford or Cambridge back home, and it's just as difficult to get in. These students are the next generation of Korean maths teachers. This year, 3,000 students applied to go on this teacher's training course. Only 36 got places.
I think maybe 2% or maybe 5% high school graduates can only admit it to my department.
So if you want to be a maths teacher and be trained in this university, you're one of the top 2 to 5% of graduates in South Korea.
Right.
Why is it that your best graduates in South Korea want to become teachers? What is the number one reason, do you think?
Number one, job stability. Number two, 2 months holiday.
Yeah.
And number three, maybe it's still we respect teachers.
Becoming a teacher is a dream job for many high school pupils. Do-Yan Kim is one of them. Under enormous pressure, he studied 16 hours a day for 3 years solid to get into this university.
It was real difficult. Especially in Korea, we have a lot of students who wants to go to college, so the competition is really tough. We have only one exam for a college entrance once a year. And that is the major source of stress for lots of high school students in Korea.
After only a few minutes talking to Do-Yan Kim, I could see that it was almost painful for him to talk about his time in high school. And then I found out why.
I lost about 2 or 3 friends.
To suicide?
Yeah, all the way up here.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they were studying too hard?
One was extremely stressed by the studying part, and the other also committed suicide. Yeah.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. How old are they?
Well, they're about, 15 or 16.
South Korea has the highest suicide rates in the industrialized world. It is astonishingly the number 1 cause of death for those aged between 10 and 30 years old. Some say it's time to make changes to the system, including the former Minister of Education who was in charge of South Korea's success in the last PISA international rankings.
Those high test scores in PISA mask very important problems in Korean education. For example, Korean students don't have enough time to read, to do sports, to do music, and to spend that time freely, because they are too much pressured to prepare for the exam. Even in PISA test, when they ask Korean students whether they are happy in school, Korean students rates the lowest. So it's really worrisome. It's time for Korean parents to make changes. To prepare our next generation for the 21st centuries, our children may need different sets of skills other than just high test scores. Communication, collaboration, and creativity, they should be nurtured.
The government are introducing changes to the system. All middle schools now have to allow one school term free of any written exams, though there's still another 5 terms of exams left. The aim is to get pupils into sports and other creative activities. In the girls' school, Sarah is swapping her classroom for a kitchen. She's learning how to make Korean pancakes.
Taste, 10. Presentation is probably about a 4.
And joining them in the class kitchen are a group of parents. In South Korea, parents are free to observe the teacher to judge the quality of teaching, and they give them a score. For most teachers, it's an uncomfortable experience.
Personally, it's awful, but sometimes it's really helpful for me to keep awake as a teacher because I need to train myself, and sometimes I need to learn more things about education, and that really helps me to encourage my students too.
After this lesson, I've kind of got to know everyone. I still don't know all their names, but I think they've definitely tried to make me feel welcome, and I feel much more relaxed now than I did at the beginning when everyone was just staring at me. I think they kind of actually see me as a person now. This lesson, it was as if it could have been a lesson back at home, and we got to kind of take over ourselves, and so that was really good. So I think that brought my mood up a little bit.
Teachers are under pressure. They're not only marked by the parents, but by their fellow teachers, and even by the pupils. Korean parents consider it their duty to give their children every opportunity to be their best, and they are prepared to make significant sacrifices. Long into the night, parents are seen ferrying their kids between schools and top-up classes in the hagwons. Parents dedicate both time and money into developing the next generation. It is a responsibility that is taken most seriously. Tonight, Yun-chan is taking Yuan to a 3-hour maths hagwon for some probability equations.
Oh my god! You should open a restaurant. Yeah.
Yun-chan's parents pay for this extra tuition to make sure that he passes his exams. But their sacrifices don't stop with paying for classes. They even took a decision to move house, leaving a bigger property to live in this small apartment because it is nearer to a good school and good hagwons.
The location-wise, this house is very perfect for my children's education. That's the reason why many parents want to live this area, even though the high cost of living.
Yes. The family only see each other at weekends. Dad works away all week in a nuclear power plant to pay for the top-up tuition for his son.
At least 5 hours by bus.
Ooh. Oh, that's a big sacrifice. And this is so Yun-chan can...
Especially from Westerners' perspective, it would be a huge sacrifice. But in Korea, separation from family in purpose of child education is very common. So, yeah, I can accept. Yeah.
Here, parents have high expectations of their kids, and they're willing to sacrifice so much to ensure their success.
Do I look tired? I wonder why.
While Yuan finishes his hagwon, Sarah is having private maths tuition in Sion's apartment.
They're just working so hard. I think in the long run, it probably isn't that beneficial because of mental health and everything like that.
Sarah's school in Pembrokeshire is more than a place to study. In her GCSE exam year, the school helped her through a very tough and emotional year.
Yeah, it's been quite a difficult year this year because my mum was diagnosed with cancer again. So on top of my GCSEs, there was quite a lot of stress. The school, they helped me so much because mum was going through chemotherapy as I was doing my GCSEs. So having that kind of support network at school was incredible. So I hope to go on to do medicine at university in either Cardiff or Bristol, which is kind of being fuelled by mum being poorly. I will do whatever it takes to get into university and to go on and obviously become a doctor then.
So what if you had to decide between a Welsh and a Korean school for your child? Which one would you choose? Welshman Aled Powell met his Korean wife Hyono whilst teaching in a Korean hagwon. They've now left Korea and live in North Wales. A tough decision, but one they made to keep their daughter Awen out of the Korean system.
When I worked in hagwon, I hated it because I could feel the students are suffering. They don't like it. I wouldn't want to send Awen to those hagwons.
No?
No.
Right. Oh, I think Awen's saying she doesn't want to go either. So you wouldn't really want Awen going into a secondary school in Korea then, a high school?
No,
Maybe.
I think the pressures are too high. They've got a wide range of choice of subjects in Wales as well, so whatever her interests are, I think the Welsh system is quite good for catering for that.
It seems these parents have set a course for their daughter in the Welsh school system. Or have they? I think Mum still needs to be convinced.
I think it's just ideal living there. But when she's like in secondary school, I'm not very sure about it because I don't feel they're encouraged to study hard. It's good they have choices for their lives, but especially academically, I don't feel they're encouraged.
But here it's more than encouragement. Here it's pushing, and it has effects not just on the children but on the whole family unit.
There's a few years yet until Awen starts school, so plenty of time to decide which country offers the best education. But our time in Korea is fast running out. After spending 3 days in a Korean school, the Welsh students prepare for their last day. And for Tommy, he gets a taste of the cleaning duties dished out as punishment for Korean kids.
Yeah, I know. I was a bit disappointed. I thought it'd be a grand finale, but no, I do cleaning.
On their final day, I've arranged a surprise for the Welsh students. Their head teacher, David Haynes, has flown out from Ysgol Sant in Pembrokeshire to see them. The students have no idea he is here.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
How are you boys?
It's my head teacher.
Bore da pawb? Good morning.
Yeah, nice to see you, sir.
Tommy? Yeah.
Good to see you, sir.
You right?
Shion.
Hello, Shion.
April.
Or April.
And
Yes, how are
this
you?
is Mr. Haynes.
Nice to meet you. How are you, right? Hiya, how are you? How's Sarah's Korean coming along? Is it good? Have you learned any words?
No, I would be useless on my own.
It's very different in some ways, similar in other ways?
Longer days.
Longer days?
Much longer days, yeah.
Because you may only have 3 lessons one day.
Yeah.
They got it easy, haven't they, these guys, yeah? Yeah? How are you?
How are you? How are you doing?
Good to see you. Thank
Good
you
to
for,
see you. Yeah.
Thank you for having the
Welcome
boys
to my
and-
school.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. And how many children will you have entry in a year? How many children in 1 year group?
About 500.
500 in 1 year? That's as big as my school.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
It's the whole size of your school?
Whole school.
Okay.
And that's 11 to 19.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we have about 80 children a year.
I envy your school. It's like, sometimes this place reminds me like a boot camp. Too many kids here.
Too many kids.
After spending the day at both schools, I want to find out from the Welsh headmaster what lessons he thinks can be learned from our Korean counterparts.
I think the work ethic is first class. children are dedicated, they work long hours, and this school stays open until 12 at night for students to stay behind after school, which is remarkable, really. It's something we don't see back in Wales.
Would you like to see schools staying open later in Wales, maybe till 7 or 8 o'clock?
So it's certainly something to think about. I'm not saying we should be open till 12 o'clock by any stretch of the imagination, but certainly something that we need to look at. I think our children do work hard within the current framework.
But they don't work as hard as the kids in South Korea?
They don't work as long, I don't think, in terms of the amount of hours they spend in school.
And they don't get quite the same level of grades in their exam results?
They don't achieve the same levels within the PISA test, no. However...
So there are lessons to be learned, Dave?
I said yes, I agree. But speaking to the principal here, you know, he's very interested in what we do with regards to deeper thinking and being creative. I think there are lessons to be learned from Korea visiting us, but there's certainly lessons to be learned by visiting South Korea as well.
From David Haynes' experience, there's a shortage of top maths teachers in Wales. So he'd like to bring over maths teachers from South Korea to solve the problem.
In the health service, you bring across doctors from other parts of the world, and they contribute greatly to our society and the provision that we receive. I don't see it being a problem at all, that specialists and highly trained professionals coming from other parts of the world, like South Korea, could contribute greatly, I think, to our education system.
In 3 days, our Welsh students have clocked up more than 100 hours of study, double the time compared to back home. But now, it's all come to an end. It's time to say goodbye to their Korean classmates.
I feel like I've actually made some good relations here, and it just feels like they are actually my class, and I've got used to being in that class, and it's been fun, and I've been part of the learning experience, and it's been really good. So I'm kind of sad in a way that it's my last day.
Obviously, I've enjoyed the whole experience and having that opportunity to witness this school. But I'm definitely going to be happy to get out of this uniform. Obviously, thank you for making everything so comfortable for me and really welcoming me.
When we first came here, we felt really alien because we didn't know anyone, and everybody was giving us weird looks, sort of. And it just since we've been here, it's only been 3 days, and I feel like part of the class, and it's really cool.
It's been really good few days. It's been very funny as well. You've all got really good personalities, so yeah, thank you very much, and I hope you do well in your exams. It only feels like yesterday I arrived and I was going to go to school, but it's all coming to an end, so yeah, it's been a really good experience though. Certainly I'll remember it for a long time.
Before they leave their Korean host families, I'm catching up with Tommy, Ewan and Sarah for their final impressions.
I feel like it would benefit the younger years where education is still compulsory to bring in some of the same rules, if you'd say, as the South Koreans do, just to kind of improve the work ethic.
I think if there were stronger after-school classes to help people with problems they might be having in school, if there was a sort of Hagwon-based thing, that would be really good.
Just not finishing as late.
Yeah.
So more after-school clubs in St David's and some more rules, yeah?
Oh no, because we sound so bad now.
I'm not.
We're a bit too soft on the kids at home.
Yeah.
Here, they don't mess around. They give you a punishment. You get cleaning duty or you stay after school
And
to
you
do
think
cleaning.
that's good? That's consistent?
Well, it works.
You understand? Yeah.
People are going to hate us for saying this.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's true though.
Is it what you want?
So, if they were competing against Korean students for a university place, who would win? How does a Welsh A-level compare to the Korean KSAT?
At the end of the day, they're studying so hard for that KSAT that they don't actually get extracurricular options. So even if they smash those exams, if we smash ours as well, we win.
Yeah.
Just simply by circumstance.
Before they head off back to school in Wales, there's a few more goodbyes to say.
All right, this is farewell.
Pleasure. Oh my God. It was a pleasure to have you here.
You guys are gonna have to come and stay with me.
No, yeah, I'll be sure to visit your place.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers. Come here. Did you handshakes, hugs? Thank you. Thanks very much.
Very happy to help. Stay at home. Yeah. And thank you for feeding me so much. The food's been incredible. I'm coming back like...
You're my son, right?
I'm very happy.
Have a nice friend too. Have a nice
It's been
trip.
good to meet you, man.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
See you guys.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Salute.
What we've learned is South Korea's schools are changing. They're cutting back on the testing. They're taking the best of our system, more sports, more creative activities, and they're applying them here.
But what we're not doing is we're not taking what they already have here, which is a foundation of knowledge, which is a work ethic, which is ambition and aspiration for every child. And my real fear is that these countries are going to be accelerating away from us at an even faster rate than they already are.
It's time to head home, and there is one thing I'm keen to do. Education is a devolved area. That means the system in Wales is run by the Welsh Government in the Senedd in Cardiff Bay. In the days before the latest education rankings are announced, I meet with Education Minister Kirsty Williams. I want to see what she thinks about our Korean experience and find out how she plans to improve Wales's standing in the international rankings.
Did you think Wales did OK last time round?
No, absolutely not. I was very clear outside of government, and I'm very clear now that I'm in the government, that Wales's previous performance in PISA has not been good enough, and it's not what I wanted to see. We need to make improvements.
And do you want Wales to be in the top 10, the top 20 in PISA?
I want Wales to improve its scores. Now, I'm not going to sit here like other politicians in the past have made wild predictions about where we will sit. What's important is the individual scores that our children can achieve, and we need to make progress. I want Welsh parents to be engaged, to go into parents' evening, to take up the opportunities that the school afford, to talk about what they can do to support their children's education, take up a place on a school governing body. Let me know about how they perceive Welsh policy is developing. I'm clear that we are making the changes that will make a difference to PISA results in the future. We're not where we should be, we're not where I want to be, but we are moving forward.
Since filming, Ysgol Dewi Sant has introduced Korean-style changes to its school. They're going to ban mobile phones for GCSE pupils and will make the school day longer with timetabled study sessions in the evenings. Though they still believe that there's more to life than very long hours looking at a blackboard. And coming from Pembrokeshire, I wouldn't entirely disagree with that. Of course, it's about getting the balance right. But I'm convinced that looking at Korea, there is still a lot for us right across the UK to learn.